in business, it's just like having a newborn. And any of us that are fathers or mothers, you understand, like, when the baby's hungry, it needs to eat. And when your business needs you, you need to be there. And a lot of people build lifestyle businesses to where they're shutting down on the weekends and things like that. And, for me personally, I had to make the sacrifices that I made to get to where I'm at today. And I missed a lot of my children growing up, but, I'm doing this for them. And now I'm heavily involved in everything they do. So we're getting date night. Me and my wife are getting date nights again. We've been consistent on that, doing stuff with the kids, being able to go to my son's cross country meets at 2:00 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? My daughter's gymnastics. I mean, you have to prioritize your family, but a lot of times, people don't prioritize the business, and when that business needs to eat, it needs to eat. I mean, it's the lifeblood. You have to remember why you started it in the first place.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Kevin. Holy crap, I didn't even verify how to say it. Is it Fiscor? Am I going to say that right? Okay, good. Kevin Fiscor with Fiscor Plumbing and Air. Kevin and I think became mutual friends on Facebook through Victor Rancor, and I'm excited to have you on the show. Kevin, tell us about your business, man. Tell us where it's at today and a little bit of the journey.
Yeah, I started the business end of December 2016. We just hit our 10-year, just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. And we went from 1.77 million when we partnered with Rocket Group 2 years ago, about 25 months ago, to where we're at now, pacing for $22 million this year.
Hell yeah. That's insane. What's been the biggest change?
Biggest change, I would say it was a lot of it had to do with me, becoming a leader that I needed to become. But, a lot of it was just understanding my numbers, charging what I should be charging, setting up the right people in the right jobs, the processes, things like that. And basically just not running around putting out fires every day and, over hiring and putting people in positions that you're not even ready for and things like that. And just keeping your head down and just keep driving. This
episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. I know that with Rocket, some of the stuff that they do is like better pricing, better systems, ongoing training. Like, what's made the biggest difference for you guys, do you feel?
Honestly, before partnering, we would train once a week, and if that, I would probably say twice a month we were training. And the biggest thing, is, just keep on training your guys. We train our guys over 200 hours a year, our
Wow.
installers as well as our service technicians. So shoot, I forgot the question. I have ADHD.
Well, man, dude, me too. Yeah, that's great. That's why I try to keep these super short. What has made the biggest difference? What's moved the needle the most?
Yeah, the biggest difference moving the needle is we were basically training, I would say 2 times a month before partnering, and we, setting up a consistent training schedule. We train our installers and service technicians over 200 hours a year. So it's consistent training. We have, with the Rocket Group, we have training for our CSRs. We have our own internal leadership training that we do within the business with all of our leaders. Just basically, bringing everybody up around us and not relaxing the standards to hold the peace.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Collar Business Advisors. If you're running an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, or landscaping, or any other type of home service business and wondering where all the money is going despite growing your revenue, you need to talk to Paul Maskill. Paul has scaled and sold multiple blue collar businesses and now helps business owners improve cash flow, profitability, and financial clarity through outsourced CFO services. His clients gain a better understanding of their numbers, build predictable profits, and create a business that supports the life they actually want. One of the things I appreciate most about Paul is he's not just a finance guy. He's been in the trenches as an owner. He understands the challenges of running blue collar businesses because he's done it himself. If you're doing a few $1 million a year in revenue and want to stop guessing at your numbers and start building real wealth, head over to bluecollaradvisors.com. That's thebluecollaradvisors.com and schedule a discovery call with Paul and his team. Blue Collar Business Advisors, helping blue collar business owners build financially healthy companies and achieve permanent profitability. This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions. They help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. What is going really well in your business right now? What's the biggest challenge you guys are facing?
Pretty much everything is going really well right now. We're a well-oiled machine. We're ready for summer. Like I said, this is my second year with Rocket Group, and before that, I trained with Vic for 5 years before I even partnered. I went to his very first sales training, but we're just waiting for this heat to hit. We're gonna have our first real heat wave starting about Monday. So we're really excited about that, and we've been building everything, and we're getting really excited to crank out our first $2 million month. Things that we're struggling on right now really is, I would just say, we're getting a lot more credit to clients and things like that. But, I'm not a political person. I'm not going to go on a political spectrum. We're in the trades, and it's just everybody's having a rough time right now financially. So
where are you, Kevin? Where in the country are you?
I'm sitting right now in Prescott Valley, Arizona. This is our flagship location. We also have a location 45 minutes north in the Verde Valley, Camp Verde, and then we also have another office in Flagstaff.
And out of curiosity, when you like the 1 to 22 million thing, did you have the multiple locations already, or did that come with adding some locations as well?
That came with that. I tried starting up a Flagstaff location by myself, and I was just stretched way too thin. We were getting a lot of traction up there, so I pumped the brakes on Flagstaff. But yeah, with Vic and Rocket Group and everything, we saw how busy were in the other markets, and then we just started adding offices and locations. And then Camp Verde used to be the flagship location, and then I moved my whole entire family over to this side of the hill. And last August, when this really just started taking off.
Out of curiosity, how much is HVAC and how much is plumbing of the revenue?
I would probably say about 75-25.
This episode is brought to you by Jonathan Keim and the teams at 360 Commercial Roofing and Top Roof Marketing. If you own or manage commercial property, or you're a roofing contractor looking to grow, Jonathan has spent more than a decade helping businesses protect their buildings and scale through proven commercial roofing and marketing systems. His companies specialize in commercial roofing solutions, roof asset management, and marketing built specifically for the roofing industry. Whether you need a trusted commercial roofing partner or want to generate more qualified roofing leads, check out 360 Commercial Roofing or Top Roof Marketing. You can go to www.360, like 360, commercialroofing.com, and Top Roof Marketing, www.toproofmarketing.com. Now let's get into today's episode. How are you guys? One of the things I love about the trades, there's a lot of people implementing like overseas labor for efficiencies and AI. What are you guys doing on those two fronts?
We really don't use any VAs for the business itself. We are using AI for, after hour call scheduling, help with our payroll, taking our payroll from, 3 days of, processes on that payroll with as many employees that we have with all the commissions and everything, to now to where our payroll is being completed in 15 minutes. And it's just, my ARAP specialist and payroll specialist, she, double checks that. My COO, she verifies that, and then we have a meeting to go over the payroll, and it's good to go. But that's been, probably the biggest thing, is that payroll AI, as well as the after hours, and just like when it's crazy busy, whether it's dead of winter, we get snow up here, we get the heat, so it's kind of a nice area. But when those phones are going just crazy, it's nice for the gals in the call center to be able to turn on the overflow, and the AI could pick up all those calls. So
yeah. I only saw through maybe some posts that you were tagged in that you like to run long distances for fun, which is crazy to me, but tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, my fitness journey started 3 years ago. I was bright red, as red as a tomato. I couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs. I was 270 pounds. My heaviest, I was 293. But my wife was just like, "Hey, something's wrong. We got to get you taken care of. We got to get you looking at, And I'm a trades guy. When I get cut, I would super glue or electrical tape it. I don't have time for this. And we did a blood test, did the whole 9 yards of physical, and went back, for the results. And my doctor, who I've been, staying in touch with, and, keep going and seeing. But he said, "You have 6 months to live." My stepdad, he was my father. He is the one who raised me. He left this earth at 46. So And I've got a couple young kids, and I saw what it did to my family. It destroyed my family. And then, my brother was murdered in 2015, and that just destroyed my family. So I said, something has to change. Something needs to happen. And I took control of my life, and I picked the hardest thing. David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. That book, saved my life. It really pulled my head out of my ass, but I started running. The trades, trades have a dark side of it. Nobody really talks about. And I was a 26-year raging alcoholic, a functioning alcoholic. And basically, a little over 2 years ago, my daughter said, Daddy's got wobbly legs again. And I didn't have the courage, and I always thought, alcoholism was, it runs in my blood. I'm 53% Irish. It is what it is. It's generational, and it takes that one person to break that generational curse. And it's one of the hardest things I did, but I kept with running. I stayed lifting weights, dieting, the whole 9 yards, and running just allowed me to, really get over that addiction. And what running has taught me is just, discipline. My daughter asked me, Dad, why'd you start running? And I was like, nobody's ever asked me this. So it took me about 5 minutes. And, my answer to my daughter was I wanted to learn and earn discipline. Running, it's only you against you. Even when you're in a road race or ultra marathon or whatever it may be, you're trying to beat, the past you. And what running has taught me, if you're going to quit on anybody, you're going to quit on yourself. And it's just, I went from marathon, 50K, whatnot, and gotten into the ultra marathons and things like that. What I love about that is it just, running humbles you. It strips ego, it strips emotion, it strips anger. It's real. And nobody's going to help you. You can't cheat it. And, you really can't fake it. So I just kept with it, and I did it enough, just like in David Goggins' book. It honestly took me a year of running to where I fell in love with it. And now anytime I have a major decision or, something to think about, I do it while I'm on a run, and it gives me all the clarity and everything I need. But it's just taught me to, have a lot more mental discipline and, not to give up on yourself.
Yeah. I read a book called Born to Run, and it opened my eyes to that ultra marathoning kind of world. I didn't even realize people were out there that like to run over a marathon, more than a marathon. That's insane to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like therapy, and it like I said, it strips away everything from you. And in a marathon, you go to hell and back once. In an ultra marathon, you come in and out of hell, in and out of hell, in and out of hell, and then you'll be in a low spot, and then like some childhood trauma will pop up, and you can't, you can't hide from it, and you're already in a low spot. So you have to. I'm getting goosebumps, literally. But when that arises and you're already in a low spot and you're in a shit ton of pain, and you just got to work through the things. And a lot of psychiatrists actually recommend, endurance sports to people, have experienced a lot of trauma in their lives. And, if you talk to a lot of people in the endurance sports, whether it's running, cycling, whatever it may be, there's a direct correlation to trauma survivors and endurance sports. It does something for you.
What's one thing we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
I would honestly say my family. I do everything, and I do everything and anything for them. So my family is my my driving factor behind me. And I just love that, my wife, nobody gives their wives enough credit, to a lot of us blue collar guys, because we'll be on a vacation, we'll be at a date night, we'll be doing something. What do you see contractors? Always on their phone, I mean? So it's just having the understanding and just, sticking through, just sticking through when, I was, getting, finding sobriety and things like that. And, yeah, my family is, something that gets me fired up. I'd do anything for them.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's cool in the trades. I am noticing a trend. Maybe I'm only getting them on my podcast and there's a bunch of really bad dads and husbands out there or something, but I think there's a renewal of like realizing that what you have outside of your business is way more important than what you have in your business. And like time spent with your kids, buying your time back, investing in your marriage, stuff like that. Like that is,
Yeah,
um,
that's, that you saying that, that's Feb 24. I stepped back from operating the business to strictly the CEO position. And, I was talking with my business partners, Vic and Michelle, and, they're just like, you built this business, it's running itself. Now you need to start stepping back and start operating just like the CEO. And I mean, that gave me all the time in the world to be with my family, to do things with them. It's the last 2 years just put my head down and grinding and getting the work done to where we're at now. I'm extremely grateful just being able to have my time back with the family. Cause I mean, a business, I forget, it was an Instagram reel I saw, but honestly, in business, it's just like having a newborn. And any of us that are fathers or mothers, you understand, like when the baby's hungry, it needs to eat. And when your business needs you, you need to be there. And a lot of people build lifestyle businesses to where they're shutting down on the weekends and things like that. And, for me personally, I had to make the sacrifices that I made to get to where I'm at today. And, I missed a lot of my children growing up, but, I'm doing this for them. And now I'm heavily involved in everything they do. So,
yeah,
we're getting date night. Me and my wife are getting date nights again. We've been consistent on that, doing stuff with the kids, being able to go to my son's cross country meets at 2:00 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? My daughter's gymnastics. I mean, you have to prioritize your family, but a lot of times, people don't prioritize the business. And when that business needs to eat, it needs to eat. I mean, it's the lifeblood. You have
yep,
to remember why you started it in the first place.
yep. I love that, man. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Where can people learn more if they wanted to learn more about your business?
We have a website, callfiscor.com. We have Facebook, Instagram. We've got all the socials. So
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks so much for coming on the show.
that's good.